We have some big topics to talk about on the board this week, starting with ODB. That's old David Baker. He won his third WSOP gold bracelet, taking down the $1,500 Raz. This was an event that I was invested in because our good friend and longtime poker reporter, Mickey Doft, was going deep, ended up finishing in 12th. And then you have David Baker winning it in a 2 big bets in a chair sort of story, Jesse.
Yeah. I mean, the chip in the chair story is fantastic from Jack Strauss. I mean, it's a fantastic thing to think about. I was anti-sweating ODB. We had a little Poker News drama this past week where we had a rookie reporter who just wasn't covered, didn't have ODB in the record, in the chip counts or in the hand updates. And he got on Twitter, which is my baby. I check the Poker News Twitter all the time. And here's ODB. I'm like, how do I respond to ODB? I mean, I respect the guy, but how do I tell him it's a rookie? You gotta be a little gentle on the rookies, otherwise they leave. We don't want to we want to scare away the new guys. And so ODB was tearing hard on us, and we fixed it all. Of course, obviously we love ODB, but then he goes and wins the bracelet. I'm like, shit. Yeah, shit.
He showed those rookies like, hey, this is why you got to know who I am.
No, for real. Yeah.
I've known ODB for a while and I love him. He is a great player. Obviously was a 2-time bracelet winner, wins his third here in a variant Raz that he loves. He adds his name to a list of some strong Raz bracelet winners, including Max Pescatori, Phil Hellmuth, Kevin Gerhardt, those sort of players. So this is a prestigious event to win, and he did it in dramatic fashion, coming back heads up against Justin Liberto. And he said in his winner's interview, and I believe this, if you put together a list of people who love poker, a top 10 list of those who love it and want it the most, David Baker's name would be on there. He loves the game. He's always grinding. He goes above and beyond. So you got that $25K fantasy draft that Daniel Negreanu does every year. Well, ODB organizes a $500 buy-in fantasy draft based off that one. And he's just doing that as something in the community. I love ODB. I think he does a lot for the game, and I was really happy to see him win number 3.
I like the anti-sweat. I think I had my spot there, but he wins the bracelet and it's over. Okay. Josh Arieh in event 22, the 10K limit holdem championship, wins his 5th bracelet. My goodness. I mean, what a story.
He's 2 years removed from winning 2021 WSOP Player of the Year.
Yeah.
He's winning this 10K. It's a championship. So there's a big, we already talked about it at the beginning of the show. This was one of those tournaments where the numbers were way up, wins it for $316,000, defeats a stacked final table that included Daniel Edema, who finished as runner-up, Joe McKeon, Nick Papillo, Nick Schulman at another final table. So this was not an easy task, but he gets it done. And at what a time. Nominations are open for the Poker Hall of Fame right now. He was nominated last year.
Yeah, and not only that, but I mean, his story is just so good. You know, we first got to know him. The world got to know him in 2005 when he finished 3rd in the main event, and you know that's the year that Hashem wins. I mean, which is an epic year. It's right. You know, it's Moneymaker, then it's Raymer, then Hashem. In my opinion, 3 amazing years in a row that really built the poker boom before Jimmy Gold just crushed it with the biggest main event ever. So for Arieh to make that deep finish in that main event and to still be not only just in poker, but growing his history, getting 5 bracelets over an 18-year career is massive. And then, you know, he bought into, what site did he buy into, Chad?
Yeah, the Stake Kings or Poker Stakes.
Poker Stakes, yeah. So he's, not only has he had a great poker history in his game play and in what he's done, but he's also somewhat of a builder, like helping to give poker players a place to get, you know, the help they need to sell action, things like that. So what a story, what a bracelet, I mean, not only that, but the WSP just freaking started. We're just getting started. It's only the 2nd week, and here's Arieh's 5th bracelet. I'm so impressed. I'm so happy. I'm shocked. And I think you're right. I think Hall of Fame may be locked up almost for this guy.
I mean, he's got to make the nomination for sure this year.
Yeah, right? But what a crusher, man. What a crazy story.
It was Poker Stake.
Poker Stake, there you go. Boom, boom, boom. All right, this one's huge. I mean, what a freaking week for Mr. Sturm. Chad, are you familiar with this guy?
Yeah, he's like the new German wonderkin, which we've seen many of over the years, the Fedor Holtzes of the world, if you will. He's 22 years old. I guess he just won like a $1.6 million tournament in GG.
So the way his week worked was the Sunday Millions hits 10K buy-in. He wins it for 1.5 million. And then, of course, he wins his first bracelet for 1.5 million too. $3 million in the same week, and you're 22 years old.
Yeah, that's it's reminiscent of when Adrian Mateos won. He was 22 years old and defeated in the Heads Up Championship the legendary John Smith. Right, so John Smith at the time I think was 70 years old, because we had a Heads Up match in this this tournament where he won his bracelet was the $50,000 high roller. It came down to Sturm, 22 as I said, against the legendary Bill Klein, who is 75. So really old school versus new school. And I know there are a lot of people. Literally, I was sitting at the table. I was playing in the eight game mix, and Chino Ream was to my left, and there's some other Ian Johns were at our table. A lot of people were rooting for Bill Klein in that match. He's one of poker's nicest guys. I got to play with him at the WPT Win Championship for a little bit and can attest. Playing with him is a pleasure. Super nice guy. But in this case, it was Sturm getting it done, or Sturm rather, and he's
on fire.
Yeah,
he's on fire. I mean, to call him the next Fairholtz is no question. I mean, he's worthy of it based on his run. It just seems like he is the guy to keep on. I mean, it's one thing to like win one of these maybe, but to win two in the same week like that, and I mean, he's out here for the summer. What else can he do? It's this might be his summer, man.
Let's see if he can jump in there in the 250K or something. He can afford it now, right?
I think so. I think he can probably afford it, but maybe so. Yeah, it'll be fun to watch for sure. All right, this one was massive. This one was great. Johnny World. What a story. Have you heard about this tweet?
I did, yeah. It's Johnny World Hennigan, Poker Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Right? He was playing in the 10K08 or something, and then where Ben Lamb was and a bunch of other crushers.
That's right. So he made day two. He has the same stack as Ben Lamb. He walks over. David Williams is across the table. And he says, hey, we both have the same stack size. Might be a good time for us to swap 1.5%. Hey, what do you think? And Ben Lamb's like, absolutely. I mean, it's a retelling from David Williams. Absolutely. And goes to shake his hand. And Johnny World just laughs him off and says, lol, just kidding. And walks away.
It's like,
I mean, what in the world? How good is this?
It's funny because like Johnny World to me has always been that quiet, stoic figure at the poker table. To see him cracking these jokes, I guess, is a side that I haven't seen, and I'm guessing a lot of poker fans haven't. But here's the thing: Ben Lamb is getting the last laugh in this one, right?
Massively,
yeah. Because John Hennigan finished in 13th place in that tournament for $26,662, whereas Ben Lamb is coming back in the final day as the chip leader at the final table. And what's first going to pay here?
Payouts $492K up top.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, maybe that swap should have happened. maybe, but but Johnny World is a gambler, dude. That's his whole nickname. He'll bet on anything in the whole world. And so it's not beyond it for him to do this. I'm going to jump for it. But that burn is so good. Even today, we see on Twitter. Ben Lamb posted like, I know this, I know the numbers, I know I can win, but he still wins because that burn was so good. What a needle.
And I feel like it's hard to burn Ben Lamb too. He's another one who is always kind of quiet and stoic, plays his cards close to his chest, so to speak. And so for these two to do it, I think it's just two characters you wouldn't have expected it from.
Yeah. All right. It's time to talk about a tweet that was big for me yesterday. I don't think it broke the internet like the Johnny World one did, but I love seeing this. Last week we talked about this guy who wins his bracelet after his girlfriend for 9 years wouldn't let him play and completely holds him off. This time we got Hello Kitty, Justin Arvin. Justin Arvin, is that his last name?
Arnwine.
I just swapped it. Justin Arnwine, his wife's Caitlin, and this is the polar opposite, which I love. You got one guy, girlfriend says no poker, doesn't play for 9 years, wins a bracelet. Justin, however, he runs super deep in the Gladiators of Poker, finishes 81st. He's in the payout line, and his wife, Caitlin, calls him up and says, where are you? Get out of line right now. There's 16 minutes left of late reg in the deep stack. Go right now and jump in there. And he listens, says, okay, jumps out of line, jumps over there, registers, makes in time. He bags, makes day two. I mean, and his, he made the money, obviously. That doesn't make a massive deep run. But how sick is this that, like, to see that polar opposites of opportunities for a relationship in poker?
Yeah.
I mean,
you see all these different kind of poker couples, right? Chris Moorman and Katie Lindsay, they play together, what have you. Then you
Jesse
see
Sylvie Ashley. Yeah.
Then you see some who one of the spouses or one side of the relationship doesn't know poker.
Yep.
They're always there waiting or what have you. Johnny Moss's wife,
Phil Hellmuth's wife.
Yeah, Phil Hellmuth's wife's another one. So they're kind of waiting.
Honey. Yeah, yeah.
But then you get the couples, who, like we talked about, the one, I don't like you playing poker. Well, I'm going to play poker and what have you. But in this case, Caitlin and Justin seem to be a very popular poker couple right now. I think they're East Coast based, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and always having that support of one another. Not only support, like, you need to get out of line and go play.
Yeah.
It reminded me, just real quick, I know we just talked about Josh Arieh, but like, he won the bracelet and then just jumped into the 1508 game right after. Like, go celebrate these things.
Yeah,
you get a win, right? Go celebrate. But I guess.
Also the Hello Kitty wear. We can't even talk about it. We don't have time. Okay. All right. Oh, shit. Now we're going to talk about Twitter Spaces. Chad, I am so done with this. I'm so done with this.
Wow. I thought you were all about the Twitter Spaces.
No. Are you kidding me? Okay. I mean, we're going to say his name, right? We have to say Eden Rocks now?
Mm-hmm.
This is a joke, man.
I don't know. I have never been in a Twitter space yet, so I might not be able to contribute too much here.
That's not the brag that you think it is, because even Norman Chad has had a Twitter space that he hosted.
Yes,
you're like grandpa, like bragging about like.
I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying I haven't yet. So. But you're over them already. So did I really miss it? This
story is just it's insane. So to wrap up the last like 72 hours of what's been going on, I've had them on running for like 8 hours over the last 2 or 3 days listening to this shit, and it is too much. But we have to talk about it. Eden Rocks, he started hosting these Twitter Spaces as a great like follow up to HCL. And commentary and letting the community talk about it and stuff. And then he turned it into like the Berkey airball stuff. Like he was finding a great little space for people. But then he comes to Vegas and he acts like he's a celebrity out here. And he goes to Bellagio on Rob Kuhn, very nice guy, put up there. And there's a noise complaint. And he's live with 50 or 60, 70 people listening. And he just razzes the freaking security guards, gets thrown out. And it's just the drama, man. The drama is insane. Then he goes off on Jamie Kerstetter yesterday.
Oh, you don't do that.
Throws her under the bus and says, like, how dare you? I mean, it's just like, bro.
Yeah, slow down a little bit, maybe. I don't know. We always warn rookies, and this is my 15th World Series of Poker. A lot of people who come for the first time in Vegas will get the best of you. You can get caught up in the fast-paced lifestyle, make poor decisions. I don't know if that's the case here, but it certainly sounds like maybe got going a little too fast here in Las Vegas for Mr. Eden Rocks.
Okay, it's 2 weeks in the World Series. Let's give a little update on Negreanu. Daniel Negreanu. Chad picked Daniel Negreanu to win the bracelet before Phil Hellmuth. Luckily, neither have won a bracelet yet, so we're both running pure. But what do you think so far of his summer?
It's definitely off to a pretty slow start. I'm looking over the Hendon Mob results right now. It looks like he's got 4 cashes. None of them too exciting. He had a 22nd place finish in the 25K high roller for 50K. So 50K sounds nice, but it's only double the buy-in.
Yeah.
If we're looking on a return on investment, it was his deep run in the Gladiators of Poker $300 buy-in. He finished in 72nd place for almost $5,900.
It's crazy to run so deep in such a massive tournament, obviously.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder if I thought it was great that he got in those streets, if you will. As we talk, he usually plays only the bigger buy-ins, skips these ones. So I think it was a great for him to do that, to jump in there, and all the recreational players that he got to play against that whole time, the pictures that he took.
It's their dream. Are you kidding me? The cynics in your ground or across the table or even the table close by, it's still like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it's so magic.
I think that was great for him to do. He's a huge hockey fan, and the Golden Knights tonight are going to be playing for the Stanley Cup. He's probably going to be at that game. I know he's been at the other 2 that were here in Las Vegas, and so I think he's giving a little love to the hockey. But once that's done, who knows? Maybe it's a slow start. There's no denying it.
He's been firing though. Yeah, we're both watching his vlogs, and Daniel's watching our vlog, which is fucking hilarious. Daniel corrected us. We did make a mistake. I think I made a mistake. Last week we talked about Roger Moore in the Hall of Fame and mentioned that he played James Bond. Incorrect. I've been told that story. I just believe it. I mean, how sad am I that I just believe that story? But Daniel corrected us and said, "No, guys, he was a high stakes player.
High stakes player from Georgia.
Makes more sense. Thank you, Daniel. But shout out to Daniel Negreanu. Hey, what's up, homie? Thanks for
coming
watching
on the show.
Yeah,
we're trying.
Please, we got a seat right here for you.
Absolutely. He's a very busy man.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, now it's time to talk about Hellmuth. Same story, man. Hellmuth. It's been 2 weeks. same 4 cashes, just like Daniel, and a little bit better in for him. Pulling up my numbers right here.
Yeah,
let's see.
It's he's 4 cashes, nothing too exciting. The biggest one, $7,300, and that was for a deep run. 47th place in the $600 no limit hold'em deep stack. Which again, just like Negreanu, that's cool. He's getting in the streets, playing with a lot of recreational players, making a deep run. So very happy to see that. But all of the other cashes, other than the 3 cashes, were all in $1,500 events. So nothing too special for Mr. Hellmuth yet either.
Right. 21st place in the dealer's choice, $1,500 buy-in for $5K. He got a 127th place in the 08 for $2,600 and a 59th place in the 8-game mix, $1,500 buy-in for $3,200. Yeah, I mean,
we need a deep run from Hellmuth or Negreanu. Like, it gets people excited whenever they do.
And I mean, Hellmuth believes in himself. He went out and bought 2 hats. A number 17 and number 18 to have on site ready to go. I mean, that's what I love about Hellmuth, that he is, I mean, he's so prepared mentally. Like, he knows he's going to win one. So let's go ahead and buy those hats. In fact, let's get ready for 2. How crazy is that?
Well, yeah, I know he was kind enough to sign some books for us at Poker News that we're going to be giving away at the upcoming Poker News Cup. So some signed swag by Phil Hellmuth. His office isn't too far from where we're set up, so we do get to see him, keep tabs on him.
We do.
And I do think it's just a matter of time before he ends up making a deep run and pushes for bracelet number 17. Off to a slow start, just like Negreanu, but just based upon the volume that each of these guys are putting in, one of them is almost bound to make a final table.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, watching both Hellmuth and hearing from him and the way he's mentally there. Negreanu on his vlog, he's mentally there too. I agree. One of these going to go. I'm still on the Hellmuth side of him taking the bracelet first, but I wouldn't be surprised if Negreanu took one down even this week.
Yeah.
So there we go. All right, Chad, let's where do we go from here?